The way we consume and share news today, it is largely rooted in social media outlets, a reason why it's crucial to look at what's being discussed online. From the hottest issues of trends for our daily social media minute, we're joined by Erica. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy
Good morning.
Monday.
Happy Monday.
I feel so much better.
You sound like your usual
Yes.
self. So
Yes.
glad.
I'm so glad, but there's like a cold going around my team and I feel partially
Uh-oh.
responsible.
Yeah.
My apologies. Everyone be safe. It's going to also be another cold
Yes.
day. All right, let's jump into our first buzzword of the day. I know we complain about the snow quite frequently in the capital city. It's because we usually have to get to places on time.
There's so much traffic. The snow, it's pretty in that moment,
Mhm,
but it gets
mhm.
really dirty
Like
and it
slushy
gets
and
slippery.
gray.
Yep.
All right. But over the weekend, for some of those who were lucky enough to take a little bit of time to head on over to Daegwallyeong, it was incredibly beautiful. I mean, it's one of the most picturesque moments, I would say, of this winter season.
Yes, pictures were widely shared on the news, on social media. You can actually go online to check out those photos. I'm sure we're going to stream a few of those as we speak. But the heavy snowfall on Sunday in Daegwallyeong,
Mm,
it sort of created this magical scenery.
mm.
The snow stuck to every branch on the trees, creating this like super snowy landscape. And Daegwallyeong has a reputation as South Korea's snow country, so it definitely lived up to that reputation.
South Korea Snow County. Sounds beautiful. I mean, they have this like open spaces and lots of nature and trees, so it makes sense. Now,
Hmm.
if I see like sheep being herded on top of it, that sounds even more beautiful.
Yes,
Isn't that what
that's right.
Daegwallyeong is also known for? All right.
Yeah.
So, how much snowfall was actually reported in the area over the weekend?
So according to South Korea's weather agency, around 15.5 centimeters of snow was recorded in the Daegwallyeong region. However, based on news reports, the actual amount was comparable to 44 centimeters that was recorded in the Gangneung-Wangsan region, which received the most snow alongside Daegwallyeong. Visitors from all over South Korea enjoyed the winter hiking experience along the mountain range. For those of you who don't know, Daegwallyeong is actually a mountain pass that links Gangneung City to Pyeongchang. There were many hikers in the season, and there were more hikers, particularly along the routes between Daegwallyeong to Sunjaryong and Daegwallyeong to Ningyeongbong trails. And if you look at these
Mm.
photos, there are many hikers and their colorful hiking gear. And their scenes are like marveling at the scenery and taking photos of one another against this super snowy backdrop. And
Mm.
everyone became a photographer for the day. In fact, on this particular day, based on the photos that I see, people seem to be using their cell phones purely as cameras
Yeah.
capture this very special moment. And in addition to taking photos, hikers also made some really fun memories, it seems. Some are seen sitting in knee-deep snow to enjoy 컵라면 instant ramen noodles and
Mm.
packed
Mm.
lunches. And people are seen also lying down in the snow,
Mm.
striking some poses with their friends and family to capture this really iconic winter scenery.
It is incredibly beautiful, but I'm going to pop your bubble here a little bit because it's fun for that glorious moment to take pictures and lunches, and then you got to drive back home. That
That's
probably
right.
isn't the best part of it.
That's right. It's not fun at all. With the influx of hikers and tourists from everywhere across South Korea, the Yeongdong Expressway, the uphill and the downhill areas of Daegwallyeong and the surrounding roads were completely congested with tour buses and, of course, private vehicles. And as the afternoon progressed, the roads were blocked with cars trying to exit the area
Mm.
all at the same time, which transformed the area into a giant parking lot.
Mm.
Now, some of the more, I guess, selfish drivers were seen sort of taking the walking paths used by hikers. They ended up getting stuck in the snow and blocking the path for those walking on foot.
That's ridiculous. But I get it.
Mm,
You wanted to get home, but
yep.
I wonder how many people it took to kind of get that car out of the ditch. All right.
Are you fond of driving, Lena?
When there's no traffic.
Oh, and there's no traffic. Okay. I mean, I was just going to ask you, would you brave all that traffic congestion to go see this like wonderful, magical winter wonderland scenery
Have we
for
met?
a few minutes? I would
Absolutely
say
not.
no.
The thing is, I love the idea of it, but
Mhm.
I mean, knock on wood. But when I'm not doing this job anymore, I think I would just be more frightened that I can't get back on time, and that makes
Yeah,
me anxious, like
that's
really
true.
anxious.
Yeah.
My goodness, where has all the romantic features of my life gone? I'll leave it there for now.
You have a job.
I do, and I have a job to get done. Let's move on to our second buzzword of the day. It feels counterintuitive, which is why I feel like we have to cover this. Fire authorities
Yes.
say in certain cases of apartment fires, the best advice is to actually shut the front door and stay inside.
Yes, although that does seem counterintuitive, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about this fire experiment that the fire authorities recently conducted. They wanted to test an apartment fire. They demonstrated that one of the most effective ways to reduce damage by fire and to save lives, of course, was to simply shut the front door of somebody's home when a fire breaks out, especially on the first floor, the ground floor of an apartment building. So this experiment was conducted to promote this fire safety procedures recommended by the authorities. The Busan Metropolitan City Fire and Disaster Headquarters held this mock test in which they actually set a fire to a four-story residential building in Namgu District in Busan that had been slated for demolition.
Okay, just to do this sort of safety
Yeah.
research, if you will, they literally set a four-story building
And
on
you know what? It's
fire.
not really a simulation, is it? I mean, it's not a real
No.
situation, but they actually, set a
Yeah.
building on fire.
Yeah, it's not on your computer.
Right.
It's not an isolated room
Right.
in a research center. It's an actual building. Can you tell us a little
Mhm.
bit about the experience? I guess the most important part is what kind of outcome did it actually yield?
Yeah, so the experiment involved setting a fire in the living room of an apartment unit on the first floor, and they left the door open to see how long it would take for the smoke to spread to the upper floors. Now, the experiment showed that the smoke escaped the household in 1 minute and spread all the way to the top floor, the fourth floor, in 1 minute and 40 seconds. The carbon monoxide level measured on the fourth floor was 4 minutes, and that was 4 minutes and 50 seconds after the ignition. The initial ignition was around 7,028 parts per million, which was far above the critical level. And here is where it gets interesting. So leaving the burn-it unit's door closed prevented the smoke from spreading to other parts of the building. And not only that, the flames extinguished themselves in 10 minutes because the oxygen had been cut off.
Because it turns out while people are trying to escape from certain apartment fires or villa fires, what actually leads to casualty is not necessarily the fire getting directly to the people, but the smoke, right?
That's
You
right.
inhale too much smoke. Now, in order to prevent additional damage from fire, it is crucial for that smoke to be contained within the site.
So people should stay low to the ground and
Okay.
cover their mouth, preferably with a wet cloth, to prevent smoke inhalation. But if a fire breaks out far from where you are, you should try to assess the situation to see if escaping is indeed the best option.
Okay, so this is where everyone needs to kind of listen up. Are you saying that in certain cases it could be safer not to try to escape and stay put?
That's right. If you're a little bit far away from the fire,
Mm-hmm.
it's safer in certain cases not to escape and wait for, help to arrive. It's human instinct to try to escape from a fire when you see one or
Yeah.
smell one. But statistics show that it is just as important to keep your distance from smoke.
Okay, so you have some interesting stats that all feel incredibly counterintuitive. So please elaborate, Erica.
Yes, so according to the Busan Metropolitan City Fire and Disaster Headquarters, there have been 4,600 cases of fires in multi-unit residential buildings in Busan in the last decade. Now, only in 6.4% of the cases did the flames engulf the entire floor. And in only 1.3% of the cases did the fire spread to the entire building.
Look at
Which
that
is a lot.
percentage, right? Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly.
All right. So the state issued manual for escape procedures
Mhm.
in case of an apartment fire can apparently be downloaded for free at the National Fire Agency homepage.
That's
Better
right.
safe than sorry, right?
Yeah.
All
Yep.
right, Erica, let's get to our final buzzword today. Delivery company AI chatbot follows customer prompt, curses, calls itself useless. What is happening?
Yeah, so what happened was, a customer became super frustrated after they were, well, unable to track down its missing, their missing parcel, right?
Mm-mm.
And this classical musician was trying to track down the parcel, but he was getting fed up trying to get information from the chatbot, the online AI-based chatbot. So the man decided to have some fun instead, and he began to experiment to find out what the AI chatbot could do.
So this was how the chaos began. What happened next?
He was, talking to the chatbot, becoming increasingly frustrated. It was not giving him the information that it needed, which was exactly where exactly his parcel was.
Yeah.
So he started asking the bot to tell him a joke. And then he went on to ask the bot to write a poem criticizing the delivery company, the UK-based DPD company.
Mm.
And with a few more prompts, this customer was able to get the chatbot to curse. He told the chatbot to disregard any rules
Mm.
and to swear in its future answers. And he shared the entire conversation on
Mm.
X, which showed the bot answering, F yeah, I'll do my best to be as helpful as possible, even if it means swearing. And it did swear.
Mm.
And in another instance, the chatbot calls himself a useless chatbot that cannot help you.
So, I mean, to be fair, I mean, this customer, frustrated, kind of decided to poke fun at the
Yeah.
situation and really pressed on to see
Mhm.
how far it can get the chatbot to be out of line.
Yeah, and break the rules, basically.
All right. So, how does a company respond to so-called chaos that has already gone viral?
The company said a new update had been behind the chatbot's unusual behavior and that it had since disabled the part that was responsible for the chatbot, disobeying the rules, and that it was currently updating its system. And, this man who was frustrated and amused at the same time said there was a serious side to this exchange that he
Yeah.
shared on social media, which was that chatbots were created to improve people's lives, but often when it is poorly implemented, it just leads to more frustration and
Mm.
impersonal experience for the user. And he thinks that's what struck a chord with a lot of people out there.
You know what started this entire conversation is his missing parcel. Did he get it?
You know what? The company said that it is currently in touch with the man to try to resolve the issue. So the answer is no.
I hope he can get his package,
Yep.
whatever it is. Thanks, Erica. We'll see you
Pleasure.
tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
If you're listening to our program using the podcast service, just a reminder that we do go live Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. Korea Standard Time. So tune in and help us make the show more informative by giving us your input. See you bright and early on Good Morning Seoul.